everyone, it's Elora from The Shrinking Violet here. Welcome back to another cooking session with me in the kitchen. Today I'm going to be making my chicken pesto pasta with zoodles. It is all paleo friendly and one of my favorite recipes. I probably say that about every recipe that I make, but I just really like to eat. So first we're going to start off by turning these here zucchinis or courgettes, whatever you call them in your part of the world, into zoodles. So you can use a spiralizer or a julienne peeler like I have today. Super simple to do, and you're just going to drag it along there and it makes these beautiful little strips, and this is going to act as our pasta. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Obviously this works best when you've got a nice straight zucchini, so if you do anticipate making this recipe, do just try and find the zucchinis that are nice and uniform. Cool, now that I have successfully zoodled my courgettes or zucchinis, I generally like to use one zucchini per person. So I've got 2 in here today. It also obviously depends on the size of them. You can make it with small or big. But yeah, generally sort of 1 medium-sized zucchini per person. Now that we've done that, I'm just gonna set that to the side, and it is time to head to the stove and start putting it together. Okay, so now we're over by the element ready to put everything together. The first step is to start frying off the bacon. Everything is better with bacon. You can leave it out, but obviously I prefer it with. I have got a little bit of coconut oil heated in the pan, just because we're going to put some onions and garlic in there, and it's just nice to have that for the caramelization. So, it's nice and hot. So we're just going to fry that until it is nice and golden brown and crispy. Great, now that the bacon is cooked through and it is starting to caramelize on all those nice fatty pieces, I'm just going to add the onions and start sauteing them down. I've just got 1 whole brown onion here, and there is 3 rashers of bacon in here. This will end up serving 4. At this stage I also like to add just a little bit more coconut oil and also a little bit of salt to start drawing the moisture out of the onions. Great, now that the onions have started to saute down really nicely, they start to go nice and translucent, so at that stage I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic, which I have finely minced. At this stage I also like to add in my mushrooms, so I have 3 mushrooms that I've just chopped reasonably small, and I'm going to stir that in. Great, so I've also deboned and chopped up into small pieces a whole smoked chicken. You can cook your own chicken pieces for this. I just really like the smoked chicken flavour, so yeah, I'm just going to add that in. Make sure you don't forget the seasoning. I've already put some salt in here, but it's really great to add some pepper as well. Now that that's all combined, I'm going to add in a whole can of coconut cream, which I've got here. And stir that one to combine, and now for the best part of the whole recipe, the pesto. I buy a certain pesto brand here in New Zealand which doesn't use any canola oil. It's just made with olive oil, obviously basil and cashews and parmesan. I like to add around 2 tablespoons, but it's really up to you. And it's 2 generous tablespoons. Which is the whole bottle. Great, so we've stirred through the pesto and now I'm going to add in another amazing ingredient. This recipe is one of my favourites, like I said, because it has so many of my favourite ingredients in it. It's got the smoked chicken, it's got the bacon, it's got the pesto, and now I'm adding in sun-dried tomatoes, which is so nice to bite into halfway through a mouthful. So I've just got 3 sun-dried tomatoes that I've chopped into smaller pieces. Now for one of the last steps before we are ready to serve is adding the zoodles and letting those cook through. So I did have 2 zucchinis here, but I've added another 2 just because this is going to serve 4 people. So just make sure that you do enough zoodles, but they take like 2 seconds to make. So just stir that through and let it cook for another few minutes until the zoodles are nice and soft. Don't worry if you think it looks like there's not enough moisture in the recipe, because there will be. The zoodles will also let out a little bit of water too, so that it's nice and saucy. Great, so now that they have cooked for another couple of minutes, the zoodles are nice and soft, it is time to serve it up for your guests. So it's come out really nicely. What I like to do, I've just toasted a few pine nuts in a dry pan, is sprinkle a couple of those over top, and it's ready to serve.